Hey, welcome! You are here with Change Models 101. I'm Nicola-Graham from BEE Change Ltd, and I thought I would like to give you the lowdown on my top 10 chosen change models throughout the last century. I would like to explain to you the history of these, how and why they were created. I'd like to give you the explanation of each model in hopefully a simple way. While we're at it, why not go for the pros and cons for each one? There's no harm in that. And how about a case study just for you so that you can understand if these are useful for you in your projects today. We're giving this content for free, guys. You go ahead, click and subscribe to our channel for more useful information. Let's get going. Hey guys, welcome to your first Change Model 101, where we're going to explore the Kubler-Ross change curve. Now, the Kubler-Ross change curve was designed in a way that's now used so much because it helps people understand the emotional journey that people go through when it comes to change and transition. It was actually created in 1969 by a Swiss-American psychiatrist named Kubler-Ross. She was actually a psychiatrist in a ward for patients that were terminally ill. And she started to really observe the way that people went through different stages of grief when it comes to their later stages of life. And it was that gave her the ability to start to understand those stages and recognize patterns within them. And from that, she was able to create a change curve so that people can understand that people do go through these natural stages of grief when it comes to change and transition. Fun fact for you, Kubler-Ross actually claims to have encountered paranormal activity, which basically means she speaks to dead people.
I see dead people.
And it was actually speaking to the dead people that helped her to understand those griefs more. Okay, so let's explain this to you. I'll be right back. Okay, let's do this. Kubler-Ross change curve. What it is about the change curve is she wanted to outline emotional changes that people go through. And essentially, she did it by 5 stages. Stage 1, denial. Stage 1 is denial. It's essentially when somebody is faced with change, but they can't even fathom the change or the transition that's happening to them. So they go into this almost like a denial stage where they completely avoid what's happening to them. So this is time presented down here. This is the impact. So dependent on how hard the impact is. So for example, in grief of a sense of loss, people dying, people losing people, the impact is obviously really high. This line here is medium. So that denial means that actually people just chill. They're okay. They're just plodding along, ticking by, doesn't matter to them. Number 2 is known as anger. So what happens when somebody gets out of that denial, that status quo, they start to feel angry about what's happening to them. They can't believe this thing's happened to them. How dare it happen to them? So then what they end up feeling is really negative. They really crash into this stage 2, which is a really negative space for them. Then they get into bargaining. Why? This can't be. I do anything. Let me do anything. And they stay in a real negative space. They really start to go through this status where they really truly are bargaining for something. The 4th, depression. Bargaining didn't work. Depression kicks in. Still feeling pretty down here. And number 5, well, that bad boy is acceptance. They accept what's happened to them. And they fear it less. That's the change curve. Let's talk about pros. So what are the pros of doing this? First and foremost, this gives you a framework to follow. It helps you to understand the potential changes that people are going through, right? So you get a framework. Which understands change emotions. This is great because what it also gives you is leaders have a guide that they can follow. So it really helps everyone to understand exactly the transition that people need to go through, especially if you're focusing on an organisation. And then this offers support, guys. I talk about this in BEE Change, but essentially by going through this framework and beginning to understand, or maybe even try to recognise where people might be in their own change curve or fear curve as I relate to this, it helps you in ways that you can support them. For example, if somebody's in denial, we need to get them out of that denial. You need to get them out of the status quo. We need them to be supported in a way that's going to help them truly understand exactly what the change is to them. But what are the cons? Let's do cons. So one of the cons is not everyone is linear. Okay, so some people actually, so something that come out later after Kubler-Ross is that people can jump about. So somebody actually might be depressed before they get angry. So it's not always a linear process when somebody goes through this. They're essentially going to be anywhere along the change curve at any time. Get my words out. They're gonna be in this change curve at any stage. Okay, so you really have to. They're gonna be in this change curve at any stage. Okay, so you really have to be cautious with people's emotions. Okay, now you're not going to have access to everyone's feelings. They're not going to admit that, especially in an organisation. They might be hiding anger. They might be passive aggressive with you, okay? But they might be hiding this and you have no idea. So it's really hard to gauge exactly people's emotions and how they're feeling for that. So therefore, I really recommend that this is used as a way to create awareness. So recognizing emotions. And 3, this isn't truly focused on business, okay? This is talking about grief. This is talking about sense of complete loss. That's why you can actually reduce the stages down to a 4-stage. And if you can reduce that down to a 4-stage, you can actually make it a lot more organizational worthy, I guess. So let's talk about a case study. Okay, you have an organization. Okay, that organization is going through a new company structure. They're basically going to be moving people's jobs. They're going to be changing names. They're going to be shifting departments. Eek, they might even be firing some people.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
With this situation, something like the change curve comes into its own. Why? Because when you've got your people, and some are really sad, and some are angry, and even some are, I don't know, how would you draw denial? They're in denial. They don't believe it's happening to them. By using the change curve, you can actually help work out exactly those people in stage 1 and stage 2, the denial and the anger of the change that's happening to them. And that's how you can start to support them. You can learn techniques and ways that you can get people involved, the right people, i.e. HR, to support them in that place. This is when you use the change curve. This is Change Models 101. You've been listening to the Kubler-Ross Change Curve model. Click to subscribe and follow my other 9 coming to you very soon. Bye-bye. And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed today's content. Don't forget, guys, click and subscribe for more content coming your way very soon. And whilst you're at it, how about something free of charge? Yeah, that's right. I said free of charge. Sign up now, www.beechange.co.uk, where we are giving you a free change management course. That's right, the Build, Excite, Equip Foundation course, where we will educate you within 2 hours exactly why change management is crucial to project teams, but also how project teams can do this role within their existing activities. That's right, you truly can take people on that journey with you in your projects, and you can improve your project success. I promise you improved return on investment. Check it out today. Bye-bye.